Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be talking about the 2025 Oscars and just give some quick thoughts. Now, before I give you my thoughts, feel free to share your thoughts down below in the comments, and let's begin. So, the Oscars this year, I'll just say this up front. I think they were okay. I don't think they were amazing. I don't think they were an adrenaline. But the Oscars were just fine this year, though I'll admit a bit disappointing. Considering I'll admit I didn't feel as much watching the Oscars. I usually at least feel a bit of adrenaline watching the Oscars and a bit of excitement. I didn't feel that as much this year, which is unfortunate, but it is how it is. And I don't think the Oscars are dead, but I also don't take them as seriously. Now, I do think that the fact that I would choose different picks for my categories in the Oscars doesn't necessarily mean I don't take the Oscars as seriously. But I do notice that they do seem to completely disregard blockbusters, which I really hope that either they add a blockbuster category for best blockbuster, or quite frankly just start respecting blockbusters when it comes to best picture. Because I feel like a 3-star drama is probably more likely to get nominated for best picture than a 5-star action film. And I do understand why dramas are more likely to win best picture, but I still feel like they shouldn't be obligated to give a dramatic film a best picture, because I feel like there's been so many great action films that are far better than any other film, but don't really get a lot of Oscar love. Sometimes, and in the case of this year, some of those films didn't even get nominated for technical stuff. Films like The Fall Guy and Deadpool 3 are great examples of films that, while they wouldn't be those dramatic films that the Oscars tend to gravitate towards, they at least could have gotten nominated for some technical stuff. So it just does feel a bit strange, if you ask me. And I also do think the Oscars do tend to nominate dramatic films that tend to be a little bit more popular, or also mainly actors that tend to be more popular. Ariana Grande for Wicked is a great example of how the Oscars tend to be a bit of a popularity contest. Now, I don't think Ariana Grande was bad in Wicked. I just don't think it was Best Actress nominated worthy. Now, I will admit, I did not think Anora was going to get all these Oscars, because that film, I barely even heard about it till yesterday, to be quite frankly honest. Now, I did actually watch Anora. I thought it was a very good movie. I would even say it's maybe even a great movie. However, the fact that the director of the film all of a sudden won 4 Oscars in the same day, that feels a little bit insane. The fact that the director, I believe Sean Baker was his name, already has more Oscars than Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Christopher Nolan is pretty insane to me, if you ask me. And also, he also has more Oscars than a lot of other big-name directors like James Cameron. Almost every big-name director that I've heard of, Sean Baker, the director of Anora, already has more Oscars than them. And now I don't necessarily think that makes him a better director by any means, but it just does feel weird. Now, to be fair, I also don't think 2024 was as competitive a year, where I'll be honest, I think a good chunk of Best Picture nominees last year would have won this year if they came out a year later. Now, I don't think 2024 was a terrible year for movies. I just think compared to the last 3 years, it was a big step down compared to 2023, 2022, and 2021. Now, I will also admit, I also just didn't see as much this year. there weren't as many movies this year that caught my interest. Now, 2025, I feel like will probably be a different scenario because there's a lot more movies this year that I feel like will catch my interest. Now, I will also say that I also thought they were going to add Best New Stunts this year. In fact, I think I even made a video where I said the Fall Guys is going to probably be like the first Best Stunt winner. It turns out they're starting that category next year. So, that was a bit disappointing that they didn't add it already. To be fair, they should have added it like probably 30 to 50 years ago. However, that's just another more year that we have to wait to see that category. But yeah, I mean, the Oscars, they were fine this year. They were entertaining. They just weren't amazing. And they just weren't as exciting this year. So, those were my thoughts. Now, in terms of how I did on my predictions, I did not do so well. Now, I believe I actually did a bit better than last year, which you guys could go see my Oscar predictions last year and how horrible I did. But obviously, that isn't a high bar, considering how horrible I did with my predictions last year. However, also, I do think because Anora essentially won most of the important categories, and that didn't even come close to my radar. I mean, that's basically 4 free points I lost for my predictions. Now, for the acting, I actually did get 3 of the 4 categories right. Now, I'll say I didn't make a prediction video this year. However, I still made predictions just on my own time where I just checked off a list on my ballot. And I don't have my ballot with me right now, but I will say that I did get 3 of the 4 acting categories right. The only one I didn't get right was Mikey Madison for Anora, which, I mean, I didn't expect Anora to get all this praise. And I do think it was a good movie, and I did end up watching it, but I don't think it necessarily deserved all of that. However, in terms of actually what was my favorite movie, it was A Complete Unknown, which did get some Oscar nominations, though it didn't win anything. But, I mean, it is what it is, but, yeah, I mean, the Oscars were fine. They weren't amazing. They weren't terrible. They were fine. However, we'll just have to wait till next year to see what the Oscars will be like next year with the addition of the new stunt category. And I am excited to see a lot of more movies this year. I think this will be a way better year for movies. So, thanks for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts on the Oscars down below in the comments. And I cannot wait to post more videos. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.